Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, it's up. So that was really like my introduction to getting out here and putting music out.
And I think like two things really stand out to me about like you telling that story. I think the first thing that stands out is how if you grew up at a certain time period, how unique it was to have a physical thing that you was out trying to sell, you know, and have a physical thing that you was, you know, out trying to give to people. You know, it's with digital releases, it's so much less personal, you know, like it's so much more impersonal. You don't necessarily know who listening, when they listening, unless they message you or, you know, contact you. And, you know, you can look at your statistics and see how many plays a song got, but it don't necessarily correlate the same way as when, you know, because in my senior year of high school, I think, like I said, I started recording around 10th grade. My homie Dame had got like recording equipment, and he just had slowly built up his studio and slowly got good at engineering and was learning more and more about the craft. And so I started going to his studio maybe when I was about like in the end of my 10th grade, and then 11th grade year and 12th grade year, and sort of like building up the momentum of finally putting something out and letting people hear it, you know. And I remember I didn't even have enough confidence to do the $5 pitch. I was giving niggas the CD. Like,
you just take
to take the CD. You know what I'm saying? Just all I need you to do is just listen to it for me, you know. And it was something real special about giving it to people in the school, and then niggas coming back and they done listen to it. You know, they can tell you a certain beat and what you did on the beat. And, you know, even back then, I was just talking to somebody, and we was talking about just even how different rap music was back then, where back then rapping was really one of those things where you was like, it was punchlines and metaphors and similes, and you was trying to impress somebody with how good
who can be the wittiest. Who can be the wittiest,
you know. And so like that was like a really unique time. So like when somebody came back to you, not only did it sort of validate necessarily like your skills as a musician, you know, that wasn't necessarily the thing everybody was talking about, but it would be like, oh, you can rap, you know what I'm saying? Like you can, you know, and it was something special about that. Like, you know,
I felt good.
Yeah, it felt good, you know, because like I wasn't hooping, you know, like I wasn't playing football, you know what I'm saying? But like a nigga telling you that you can rap, you know, especially, you know, depending on who it was, like if this was somebody who like, you know, niggas got respect for, and like if you've been around and everybody talking hip hop and talking music, and you know, then that same person who you respect their opinion on music that maybe is more mainstream and more popular come and tell you, you know, that you can rap, you know, like that really, you know, did something that I think was real unique for the time, when you can really only get from having something physical that you can give to somebody, where they're more likely to come back and contact you after getting this physical thing and putting their time into the to listening to this thing that you created. And I think the other thing that really stands out about what you were saying is these different sort of stages that you have as an artist, and that I've been talking to people about, where at the very beginning of your journey, you really just an experiencer of music.
That's it.
You know, you experiencing it. And then you start to notice, like, you know, the example I used was, like, I had my homie Buddy, and he used to love cooking, and he loved food. And like, he'll watch the cooking channel, and he'll know the names of the different cooks and the different recipes. And I'm like, bro, I like food, but like, I don't like food. I ain't into food like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you had that same thing with music, where like, I remember when it started to be like, oh, okay, I enjoy music more than the average person or my average peer enjoy music. Like I'm getting the album, I'm looking at the linear notes. I know certain producer sound, you know, I know which artists, you know, I know that what their real name is because of the writing credits and stuff like that. And I'm having a conversation with somebody about why I think this person is better or why this person is better. And oh, you ain't even heard this album. And starting to even realize like, oh, niggas not even going back and listening to all these albums like this. Or they not listening with the same kind of ear that I'm listening to.
No, for real.
You know, like this just like a passive thing for them, like how I am with food, you know, like, and so I think that was one of the things that, you know, really stands out. And so you have that experience. And then once you go from like that stage and you begin to start writing music or producing music or, you know, creating music on your own, you go through this like writing process or this writing stage where you're strictly just a writing artist. And, you know, or maybe you freestyle and you a freestyle artist, but you haven't necessarily got to the point where you recording the music yet. And, you know, even that is really a struggle, because it'll be a lot of times where you may hear a beat and in your head, you got like, the bars come out a certain way, and then when it's time to like put it onto the paper, or when it's time to like actually get the words together, something always sort of get lost in translation a little bit, you know. And then you have this next step where you finally get into the studio and you start recording and you become a recording artist. And one of the first things that you realize is your voice don't sound the way that you thought your voice sounded. You know what I'm saying?
No, dead ass. Like,
go ahead.
No, not to cut you off.
Breaking down design and got a purple tint to me. And the 815 every night a murder mystery. Tossing, turning in your sleep, it's hard to get relief. No time to speak, so keep it brief. My mission incomplete.
I still can't believe your ass gone. Somehow I can't honor that. Damn, I miss you, Black Tone. All I knew was Fond du Lac. Damn, I used to have songs about me wanting Ronda back. Now bullets flying over niggas' heads as if they John Morant.